Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how, in my experience as a new homeschooling mom, having absolutely no idea where to start with any of this, how I found curriculum for our first year of homeschooling. So let's get into it. First of all, I never had any intention of homeschooling, so when we first considered the idea of homeschooling, I didn't have any idea where to start. Originally, we had talked about doing a homeschool co-op, so our initial search was a little bit more one size fits all. But when we actually decided to just do our two kids, it became a lot more fun because we could kind of tailor the curriculum to my specific kids. So I have a 5-year-old boy that will be doing first grade and a 4-year-old girl that will be doing a mix of pre-K kindergarten, but we're just calling it her kindergarten year. So, and that might take, she might have 2 years of kindergarten, we'll see. She's 4, so anyway, so we live in the US Virgin Islands, so we still have territory regulations, like state regulations, and the main curriculum was math, language arts, science, and social studies, and then electives. Or that starts for kindergarten. So the first thing that I did to start piecing together what I needed or where to even start, because the only curriculum I had ever heard of was The Good and the Beautiful. That's a common curriculum in the Virgin Islands that a lot of the homeschool co-ops use, or pods that they call down here. I went to ChatGPT, and I will put below the exact prompt that I put into ChatGPT, so you have an idea of what I specifically asked. And so I wrote the whole prompt out, exactly what we were looking for, whether we wanted it to be paid, whether we wanted it to be free, whether we wanted it to be online, in workbooks, what age range, whether we wanted secular versus non-secular, or religious versus non-religious. And yeah, so I put that in. ChatGPT actually gave me a list of curriculums based off of what I had asked, and for each subject. So for that initial list that it gave me, I did ask it. I said, okay, you're giving me this, 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 and this. Can you please compare and contrast it based off of this, this, and this? So I did go into depth about this on my blog, which I'll put down below. From there, I looked at the actual curriculum websites. Now, the really great thing about curriculum websites is they will give you a free sample. Well, most of them, at least the ones that I've looked at, will give you a free sample. So, like The Good and the Beautiful has free math and free language arts through grade 8, I want to say. So you can actually download their math and their language arts. And they have placement tests as well, so I would definitely recommend going to the curriculum websites, and most of them will have a placement test or some sort of placement tool that you can apply to your child to kind of see where they fall. So one of the things that I learned and kind of had to like unclick in my mind is where you think your child should be. It's like, for example, my daughter, we're classifying her as a kindergartner, but on some of the placement tests she placed in kindergarten, and some of the tests she still would have been in preschool, and that's totally fine. She's 4. And so I kind of had to unplug myself from that. We're going to do kindergarten and we're going to do first grade, because homeschool curriculums are kind of, they're on a scale, you know. You put, the beauty of it is you put your child where they are, and that's okay. So anyway, so I went to the curriculum websites, I looked at the free samples, or downloaded the free samples. Some of them could be just like a sample lesson, or some of them are a sample week, and I just read through them to kind of see if it would be something, number one, I would be interested in teaching, but also something that I thought my kids would enjoy. I started with ChatGPT. I then went to the curriculum websites to see if it's something that we would click with. And between those two things, I was able to narrow it down in a direction that we wanted to head. So this is when I kind of went to having a base of curriculums that I thought we may enjoy or what may work for us. I went to Facebook. So I'm a big fan of Facebook groups because you can actually talk to people and ask questions, and the homeschooling Facebook world is really awesome because they have a group for literally everything. You have your buy-sell groups, you have each curriculum probably has a parent group and a curriculum group, and then you have homeschooling groups in general. So you have secular groups, you have religious groups, you have different types of homeschooling. So homeschooling for beginners, you have Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, you have classical homeschoolers. So basically any direction you may or may not be leaning, I would recommend to join a Facebook group and either read through all the posts on that group to see what other parents have gone through, or if you have a specific question, search in the group because most likely somebody else has asked it already. It's just a really great place to get a lot of information and personal experience before you commit to a curriculum. So Facebook is also where I learned about a lot of alternative. So ChatGPT is great, the curriculum websites are great, but with Facebook, there might be a parent that was using the curriculum that I found through ChatGPT, and they talk about switching or why they switched or what they switched to, or people asking for advice about that curriculum and somebody recommending something else. So it's actually through Facebook that I made some switches and I looked into other curriculums that I had never heard of. So I definitely recommend using Facebook groups, whether it's just like a homeschooling support group or specific curriculum groups, as a resource. So that brings me to my final resource, and that is YouTube. So for me, YouTube is the window shopping of homeschooling, and you can find flip throughs on YouTube, you can find what people are using alongside the curriculum that you might be looking for. You can find experience, you can find sample lessons, people doing the lessons with their kids, feedback on specific curriculums. I mean, it has it all. Comparisons, so side by side, I did a comparison of Handwriting Without Tears because I ordered the wrong books. So I had all these Handwriting Without Tears books. So I just put them side by side and compared them all for other people that might not know which level they need for the Handwriting Without Tears. You can find, and the cool thing is you on YouTube, you have all these homeschooling families that have been doing this for years, and they've started when their kids were in kindergarten or first grade or preschool even, and they're now in, later elementary or middle school. So you can see their whole journey, and so it's a great place, again, to get a lot of ideas, to see curriculum side by side. So YouTube is a great resource. It can be very dangerous though, because at least for me, it made me just want to try everything. So I would watch a video of somebody's curriculum picks for next year, and I learned about all these new curriculums or unit studies. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. But you have to be realistic. But I mean, I have a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, soon to be 6-year-old. They don't necessarily have the attention span to go through all these curriculums, and there will be time. And when it also comes to like homeschool rooms or homeschool supplies, it can be really dangerous because you see what everybody else is using and you're like, I want to buy that, I want to buy that, I want to buy that. So proceed with caution. It's a great resource. Proceed with caution. YouTube is also where I learned about all of the different methods. So the Waldorf, the Charlotte Mason, the classical, Montessori. I had no idea that all of those things existed. I would say to figure out, number one, how your kids learn, and I wouldn't focus so much on wanting to stick to a certain method. I would find curriculums that work for you, and you can figure out what your method is later. And I mean, this is just me, like, because I got a little bit overwhelmed, like, oh my God, do I want to be this method? Do I want to be this method? But I had to just put all that out and focus on, okay, what language arts is going to work best for my son? What math is going to work best for my daughter? And then I'll figure out where we kind of fit in the method world after the fact. But I don't, at least from my perspective as somebody who is just starting, I don't think it's necessarily so important to figure out what method you are right off the bat. I'd rather focus on getting my groove and like figuring out how I am as a teacher and how my kids are and how they learn, rather than trying to put us in the box of a specific method, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would just, that's just a little tidbit, extra tidbit from me. Between those 4 resources, so I initially started knowing what the state requirements were. I took that information and I went to ChatGPT to kind of get an initial list. And from there, I went with what it gave me. I went to the curriculum websites, I went to Facebook, I went to YouTube, and I hope you found these steps helpful in getting started on your curriculum journey. I have to say it's been a lot of fun learning about all of these curriculums, and we're really excited to start with the ones that we picked for next year, and by we I mean me. I've already made, it's definitely a learning journey because we haven't even technically started. We're going to be starting in the summer in June. We're going to be technically starting our homeschooling journey, but we have already made switches, but I'll get into that in an upcoming video where I talk about what we did pick for our first homeschooling year. I'm super excited about that, and I appreciate you watching. Stick around for our journey. It's only just getting started, and we're gonna I'm always gonna keep it real, so you're gonna see the good, bad, the ugly, the amazing, all of the things, and we're excited, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and I will see you soon. Bye.